I think this will be hard, because of the type of kid he is, and but the one statement that I would make just to start off, and I would go to my grave with this one. Danny Reed is one of the gutsiest and toughest kids I've ever been around. I've been coaching for a long time, and I have my own modest athletic career. But Danny Reed is one of the toughest and gutsiest kids I've ever been around, period. Words that come to mind when I think about Danny: instinctive, savvy, competitive, fearless, and most of all, inspirational. Danny's one of those guys that I remember watching as a freshman, watching a freshman game, and something happened in a play, and I'm just like, who is that guy? Who is that guy that is that bold on a football field that can make a play and not be a real big guy? He ran well, but he wasn't the fastest guy in the field. He just played hard always, and he had tremendous courage and guts. And, football's a tough game, and there's a lot of guys in the field who have that quality, but every once in a while you run into a guy that's just exceptional at that, and you go, whoa, that guy's a football player. And, to say Danny had some bad luck or some tough luck, on the last couple of years would be an understatement. And certainly, I'm not going to focus on those injuries with Danny, because that's not how he would ever allow you to focus on that. With Danny, it's all about a comeback story. With Danny, it's always, let's move on to the next thing. This happened, doesn't seem like it's fair. I'm very upset about it, but you know what? You're not going to worry about it, and you're not going to bring you down, because I'm not going to let it bring me down. And I'll never forget him, seeing him the day after, the injury. We had a big hug, and he said, it's going to be all right, and I'm going to be back for wrestling. He looked me right in the eye, and what a spirit, what a human spirit. I'll never forget when we had our bonfire, which is our last night at camp. We get the guys together and we have some bonding, and Danny got up in front of the team and talked about goals. He said, one of the things that I do is I write down my goals. I tape them on my desk or on my wall, and I look at my written goals every day. And that's what's going to keep me focused. That's where, don't just say you're going to do something, write it down. When I heard that, I said, wow, it's something that I felt like even deficient as a coach. Maybe I hadn't, asked guys enough to do that. And truth be told, we instituted a new policy, which ended up being a very rewarding policy. Is each week we had what we called commitment cards. And, Danny Reed is what inspired me to really do that. So each week, the guys on the team that write down a commitment, we post it on the locker so that their entire team could see it, and it's out there. And when you write it down and when you put it there for others to see, your commitment is public, and it makes it that much stronger. So, Danny Reed, you're the inspiration for that new tradition that we'll have for as long as I coach. Nobody would have blamed Danny if he, just kind of wouldn't have been, around so much. It must have been hard to watch the guys play a game that he loved so much. And no one would have blamed him if Danny would have just kind of, maybe just, disappeared and worked on the wrestling and worked on the rehab and, just kind of, hey, it's just too hard to be around. Danny would have none of that. Danny rehabbed, and when Danny was done with rehab, he was down on the practice field. Danny never missed a practice or a game that he couldn't miss due to maybe some sort of a doctor's appointment. He made no big deal about it. He just honored his commitment to the team because he loved his teammates. And he made his presence felt. And he was a great teammate, and he did make a great impact among these 19 senior football players who look at him the way I look at him, in awe. Right? This guy, is just that kind of inspirational guy. If you want some fun in the next couple months, go watch this guy wrestle. This guy is back on the wrestling mat. A lot of people don't know how he's doing. Some of these NFL guys, they get the injury that he had, they're back in a year and a half. Danny was back in 4 months. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but that's his spirit. That's Danny Reed. It's all about the comeback story. And, you know, in my mind, this is just the beginning of the comeback story of Danny Reed. With that kind of heart, with that kind of commitment, Danny, you can conquer anything in your life, and you will. College choices, Danny's still undecided. He's, you know, Washington and Lee and some other Division I wrestling places, I think, are looking at him. You know, whoever decides to take a chance because he hasn't had a full season, or maybe whoever decides to make that leap because they see on the mat what I saw on the football field is going to be rewarded because your best days are in front of you. So Danny, thanks for being the winner that you are in this program. Thanks for your resilience. And, you know, I can't thank you enough for being an inspiration for this football team. Danny Reed. Last but not least, I remember getting my camp roster a few years back, summer camp, and looking at the names as I always do, and I saw the name Giuseppe Bavacco, and I thought, wow, this is awesome. We got a kid from Italy coming to our camp. We're really attracting some guys now. I never busted your chops about your name, and I figured I'd last day. When I had the opportunity to coach Zep, and even at camp, I remember, boy, this is a really special kid. And I was just so humbled to hear him speak about me before, because everything Zep does is from the heart. Everything he accomplishes in his life it's thought through. It's coherent. It's genuine. And you know, I remember coaching him and see the way he looked at you, just basically, you know, looking right through my eyes, and maybe he couldn't see my eyes because I had those Oakleys on, but I could see his eyes, and I could see that he was really, really locked in. Some guys can just take coaching. You know, it's like a skill like anything else. Some guys can, you know, get off the blocks really fast, and some guys can accept coaching and immediately transfer it into action. I've never had anyone who I could coach once and have it get it the exact right way as well as Giuseppe Bavacco has. And I was always staggered by that. His football intelligence was through the roof. His intangibles were tremendous. You know, as a quarterback, he had to wait his turn. You know, we've had some exceptional quarterbacks come through here, and he was patient. But he always had a role. I remember when he was a sophomore, he was the guy, it was our first year, we were signaling in the plays, and he was like a human spell check for me. I would give him a play, and, you know, it might have been the wrong formation with the wrong play, and he'd be like, not quite sure you want that formation with the play. Because he knew it probably better than I did. You know, so I mean, to have that was awesome. He also had the, I don't even know if he knows this, but occasionally when I would call the play, he would, like, under his breath kind of make a comment. Like, I'd call a play and be like, ooh, good call. You know, he'd do his thing, good call. And then be like, thanks, Zep. And then, you know, maybe it was a good result. But then occasionally, and this is God's honest truth, I'd call a play and he'd say to me and go, and I'd be like, and usually it turned out being a bad play, and I'd get extra mad because Zep predicted it. But you know, I mean, he had that ability to, and has that ability to just really understand the game of football and understand what we were trying to do. You know, when he was a backup quarterback for 2 years, he also contributed on defense and on special teams. He's an exceptional athlete. This year was his year in the starting QB role. And I'm just so proud of the way he developed as a football player. Sometimes life is about struggle. Sometimes it doesn't click immediately, and you've got to keep working at it. And I think Giuseppe Bavacqua, anyone who watched him this year, saw someone who, throughout the course of the year, got better every week, and confidence grew. And by the end of the year, this was a guy that could do anything and did do everything. So proud of that. You know, playing the position of quarterback is not for the faint-hearted. You know, everyone knows who the quarterback is. You know, that's the first thing my daughters ask me, who's the quarterback? And I'd say, Giuseppe Bavacqua, and my daughter Mary loved, Giuseppe Bavacqua, I love that guy. Every day, you know, how's Giuseppe Bavacqua doing? Doing wonderful, Mary. Joe, you could have gone with Joe Jr., couldn't you? But sometimes it doesn't come easy. Sometimes you got to work for it. And to watch this guy in practice, you know, doing all the little things to get better, and understanding really that's how you do it. There's no alternative. You just keep going. And to watch him develop and be the player that I knew he could be was just very, very gratifying to me. Zep's a three-sport athlete. He's a throwback. Football, basketball, baseball. Come out and watch him play basketball as a point guard, and he plays just like he does in the football field. Runs the show, very much in control, and knows what everyone's doing, and is a leader in everything he does. He's a competitor. He's got some great opportunities. We'll see what happens in the college, Franklin and Marshall, Union College, RPI, and a few other places, some of the Ivies. You know, he's still figuring that out. But, you know, to me, wherever he ends up, this guy's a winner. Wherever he ends up, he's going to be unbelievably successful. Just because you can't help and meet him and interact with him for 5 minutes and not just be unbelievably impressed with the kind of person he is. So, Zep, you're a winner. Thanks for giving me the great joy of allowing me to coach you. And keep doing what you're doing, buddy. I'm real proud of you. Giuseppe Bavacqua. All right, we are really on the home stretch now. I was going to give you a halftime